Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play The Messenger. In the last part, we reached the Elemental Skylands after helping Manfred out of a little, chilling situation. And now we're in the final of the 4 Skylands, the Fire Elemental one. If you can't tell by the visuals, lava is very common here, as are lava drops that'll hurt you. Lava being instant kill, don't fall into it, plain and simple. Though this does have one of my favorite power skills in the game. I don't know why, I just really like this one because it takes good advantage of the cloud step as well as the mid-air attack and glide. Wingsuit. Wingsuit's the name of the thing. I've been trying my hardest to call everything what it's actually called throughout this LP, namely the rope dart, because I want to say screw you to the shopkeeper and never call it the grappling hook without referring to it in this sense. This is probably the hardest out of the 4 generators to shut down just because the timer... It's not while the timer's straight, it's just that the lamps are quite literally all over the room. Kind of a shame though, because in a lot of ways this is the shortest Skyland, which makes me think that they either ran out of steam or they just wanted to get straight to the point with the boss fight that's coming up. I'll be real, I'm not sure how you're supposed to get through this room without getting hit. Never have been. I only just realized that there's vocals in that track there. Huh. I don't think I've ever heard that before. Cool. Either way, we got one last standard shooter section, I believe. Or no, is it just straight to the boss fight? No, I think it's just straight to the boss fight. Okay, I see the Clockwork concierge. Here goes nothing. Alright, as the Manfred sections are shoot-em-ups, the boss up against the Clockwork concierge, God, he's ridiculous looking, is a shoot-em-up boss fight. There are multiple targets throughout the body. The head, which deactivates when destroyed, the missiles being shot from the soldiers, the cannons in the chest, which are rather self-explanatory. And there's also a point on the bottom right that's accessible to be damaged, but I'm not sure what damaging it does. I think there's attacks that happen low on the screen that spawn out of it, maybe, but otherwise, your main target is the 3 cannons and the head. Once those are destroyed, we have to jump onto him and attack his heart. I want to say he's the healthiest boss in the game, barring the final boss, so you need to be... It's not that you're going to be doing this fight for a while. I believe the farther in the fight, the more projectiles start to spawn. And in general, I think they move faster too, but ultimately, because of the concept of combat being used here, it's not too hard. As well, if you stand, or I guess fly, towards the top left of the screen, but not quite a little bit below that, you can intercept most of the small bullets that come towards you with Manfred, meaning you don't stand much chance of getting hit. I would argue that this is potentially the easiest boss in the game, even easier than the Leaf Monster back in Autumn Hills on the first run-through. Kinda surprising, but at the same time I do admire this boss for doing something different. The boss fights are definitely, at the end of the day, a standout feature of this game because it's really good pattern recognition, though this one is just bullet hell, shoot 'em up goodness. That's what the thing on the bottom right does. It spawns the enemies, that's right. That's not very threatening. If anything, they're more meat shields for the boss fight than any actual threat to you. So I guess take out the bottom right section if you need to. It's probably... I don't even think it's required. I think you just need to take out the head and the cannons to actually make the heart accessible. And that's the fight. Fun, easy, but again, fun. Hey, welcome back.
Who are you people and where is my hose?
Nice to meet you, Clockwork Concierge. I'm a huge fan.
This is unacceptable. I need to get back to my Skylands permanently.
Come on, chill. We just snatched you out of a demon spell.
Is that so? Then it would be rude of me to let such a good deed go unrewarded.
We don't agree to that.
As I spent countless centuries in perfect harmony while catering to the intricate balance of the Skylands, my core materialized a very unique piece. Acknowledging how deeply your cooperation has touched my metaphorical heart, I would like to offer it to you.
You got the key of symbiosis. Nurtured in the Clockwork Concierge's core across centuries of perfect harmony with the elements, it is one of the notes needed to create a melody that'll break the curse. Well, thanks, Clockwork Concierge.
Now, I have much to do. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Well,
Yes.
it's just...
What is it?
You always wanted to be a butler. You're his hero. Hey, not cool.
Is that so? And what is your name, brave sky serpent?
Manfred.
Manfred, hmm? Yes, I believe that will do.
Really?
Yes, you have the perfect name for an apprentice.
No way, this is awesome.
Now, I should get back to my tasks. Come back to me when your quest is over.
That's it. I'll be back, and I promise to work super hard.
Yes, I believe we'll first address your vocabulary. Farewell for now, Manfred, and good luck, messenger.
Thanks, dude. You're pretty chill when you're not trying to blow me up. And demon spell. Well, that happened. Manfred and the messenger saved the world. Can you believe it?
Yeah, that was quite the adventure.
When all of this is over, that event alone is totally worth a second playthrough if you ask me. Anyway, I should get back to flying. Take care, buddy. If you ever want to go back to the Elemental Skylands, I do believe you need to come back to here and talk to Manfred. But since I got every power seal there, I don't need to do that. With that, is that a sink? Yes, obviously. Why would an arcane shop have a sink? Because it has magical properties, of course. Behold the money sink. The money sink? Yeah, I don't know. People kept complaining about how there weren't any ways to spend time shards once you had all the upgrades, and that we needed to fix this with a money sink. So we quite literally did that. Okay, how does it work? At the moment, it doesn't. Adventurers threw too many time shards into the drain, and it is now clogged. Is there any way to unclog it? Not really. Well, maybe if you had a money wrench. A money wrench? How can I find one? By looking for it. Okay. With that, we have one music note left to go get, but I guess I should do this first. Oh, are you interested in my tools? I can show you my collection if you want. Maybe some other time. Do you happen to have a money wrench? Of course, it's my favorite tool. Can I borrow it? Oh, I don't know about that. I really like having it here. Come on, it's the only way to unclog the money sink. The money sink? I thought it had been destroyed during the raid. Could he be alive? 246 time shards and we have a deal. It's my favorite tool. I won't negotiate. Do you want to buy my money wrench for 246 time shards? Sure. Okay, there you go. You got the money wrench. Time to do some plumbing work. I should note that money wrench always costs the exact amount of time shards you have physically. The money wrench magically unclogs the sink and disintegrates into the process. Wow. Well, that was underwhelming. Yeah, I've seen my fair share of cheaply implemented and optional item usage payoffs, but this one takes the cake. I know, the rest didn't even appear in my inventory. Irredeemable. So what was the point of unclogging the sink? To waste more time shards, of course. No need to say hi for me. But we can actually enter the money sink. That wasn't just for that. I should note that this only appears after you've gotten all the upgrades. Welcome to the second shop.
Aha! Why, hello there.
Who are you? I thought there were only 3 blue rooms left.
Why, is it really down to just 3? Sounds like hiding here was a good call.
Anyway, welcome, adventure, to the Craftsman's Corner. Haha! I am Ironhood, entrepreneur extraordinaire. Haha! Ironhood, I think I've heard of you. Well, you certainly heard my creations. I see you're fully equipped with them at this very moment. Haha! Really? You didn't think the shopkeeper was the one who made the climbing claws, now did you? Which, by the way, how are they working out for you? Well, sometimes they make me cling to the wall when I would rather keep on falling, but other than that, I guess they're fine. I see. Maybe using spider hair wasn't such a good idea after all. Pardon? But it matters not. I have since changed my vocation to toy making. Toy making? Toy making! So you sell toys? I'll stop with the awkward laugh now. Here, take a look. The literal money sink for this game is figures of various enemies and bosses throughout the game. Though for the bosses, it's only those with actual story relevance that get figures. It's a grind to get them all, but there's some okay dialogue and such behind there. I don't think you get anything for grabbing them all, though. And you can get most of at least the enemies done just by playing through the rest of the game after getting the upgrades. I say that because, if I recall correctly, including DLC, I believe there's only 2 enemy figures and the 3 boss figures left on my file to buy by the time I finish the game. So it's a grind, but if you probably go back through the Manfred Dragon segments, if you can redo those over and over again, that is. Because I know you can at least revisit the Skylands, but I actually forget if you do the shooting sections again. It's pretty easy to get that money. Alright, at this point, I need to start heading toward the last music note. The first step to that is actually the hint I've had for a while from the Prophet. We need to head to the very end of the Catacombs. To do that, I headed through the Autumn Hills, took the bottom exit to get here to the lower portion of here, and now we need to head to the end of the area. You do notably need to be in the future. In fact, I'm right here next to where I got the final power seal here back in, like, part 12 or 13, one of the two, maybe part 11. I'm honestly not sure if it would have been faster for me to do this route or head through the Howling Grotto through Bamboo Creek and then to here, as this is probably an item I should have grabbed when I was here for the Dark Cave, but I just didn't because I didn't think to do it at that point. Plus, I did want to kind of keep each music note's journey separated onto itself, at least for the structure of this game. Kind of like mini long-term stages, in a way, I guess, is my mindset for that. Backtracking isn't too bad of a deal in this game all the same, though, just because of its linear stages over and over again with minor changes. But here's Ruxtin's coffin. This is Coffin. Ruxtin's final resting place. Looks like there's a note addressed to the messenger. Dear messenger, if you're reading this, it means that my research indicated is true, and you traveled 500 years into the future. I meant it when I said I was done being evil. I even planned for my relics to become to your aid. First is my amulet, yours to keep and remember me by. I also left my staff at the top of the glacial peak. It'll answer to you as long as you carry my amulet. Also, I did some digging around the catacombs, and I believe I found a secret entrance to a new area you should explore, though it was very dark. Look for the secret passage in the room with 2 bats and a moving platform. Best of luck on your quest. Ruxtin. And we got Ruxtin's amulet. It should activate the necromancer's staff. Now, where is it? Oh, come on, he just told us and I accidentally entered the dialogue again. This is what I meant back when we went through Dark Cave, that there's technically something else hinting that you're supposed, that it's there, that you're supposed to find first, which is that. But since I know Dark Cave is there, I did it, I think that was 2 parts ago now, just to take care of it. With that, though, now our business is completely concluded in the catacombs, which means we can now head through Bamboo Creek, finally. Why? Well, like this last area where we went through Riviere, Turquoise, and the Elemental Skylands, to access the area where the final music note is another relatively long list of tasks we need to do. The first is to get, or I guess technically the first is to get Ruxtin's amulet there. The other, well, you remember the Phobikins? Yeah, they finally need to actually take part in all this, and we need to find the last 2 to do that. Additionally, I do just need to get the power seals here in Bamboo Creek, because this is the only time I would ever feasibly come back here. A shame, too, because the Bamboo Creek music is awesome in 16-bit. Also, I don't like this power seal because they knew the shortcut you could potentially do and decided to not make it a thing. As with this particular thing, we need to go over to the switches on the right, hit them, come over to the ones on the left, hit them, and then get to the top, of course. But if those 2 little, not stalactites, but lower clearance area on the bottom right above the river wasn't there, you could jump up and throw your shurikens, allowing you to completely bypass the challenge. And I feel like creative thinking like that could have been rewarded as cool. I don't know. With that said, we do need to go through a lot of Bamboo Creek to get not only the power seals, but the Phobikin that is actually in this area. How much of it? All of it. Thankfully, Bamboo Creek is the smallest area in the game, meant for the breather nature, as brought up by the shopkeeper and me multiple times. So backtracking through it's not that big of a problem. Though it is interesting, looking back, as the non-linear sections of the game really make you think about where they place the shops in the game, so that when you got done with like a side area, you would have a shop to get back to the Tower of Time with. For instance, there's one right after the area where we got the music notes in the Searing Crags. There's that shop back there a moment ago, which will have its purpose, maybe a part and a half. They're smart about their shop placements, almost too smart. It makes me feel like they actually play tested the game, which is always a positive thing to say, and thought, okay, after we've done task A, there should be a shop at location B so they don't have to backtrack all the way to location C. Or forward track to location D. I like that kind of forethought in game design. Sabotage Studio is a really good developer despite having very little under their belt. I'm looking forward to Children of the Stars, or I already forgot what it was called again, very much as an RPG, just because if they're this good at platforming level design, their RPG plot and level design, or enemy design is probably going to be fantastic. Also, there's a time shard crystal here that I completely forgot to show off on the first trek through. I mean, I totally meant to not show it, so I could show that time warp there for the fact we need to use it here, because you actually can't access the phobic in here until it's in 8-bit. This whole platforming segment in some ways is very reminiscent of the one we did to get the key back, or the music note back in the Autumn Hills. Now, it's a lot of platform and, well, obviously it's a lot of platforming. This entire game's a platformer, Kyle. It's a lot of dimension time warping in specific places to not fall into specific holes, so on and so forth. It makes me feel like that they really meant for me to do this second, like, in a certain way. I have to wonder if they intended the players, after they got to the non-linear section of the game, to go through the stages in the order they did them again to either get more power cells or see what they can find along the way, and this would be one of those things. Which, honestly, could very well be the intention, just given the game's already originally a linear level design. But I don't know. Claustro, I presume?
Hey, that's such a cool sword.
How'd you end up trapped in here?
Oh, the irony, right? It's a very embarrassing tale. I'd rather get back to my workstation. Thanks for snapping me out of it.
Alright, that's 3 Phobicans down, 1 to go. I believe if you go check with Necro at the Forlorn Temple, he'll say they now need 2,500 years? I might have that number wrong again, and honestly, it's such vanilla flavor text, it doesn't really matter. And with that, our business here in the Bamboo Creek is completely done. Now for a relatively large jump cut. Time for us to head back to the Glacial Peak. Why? Ruxton's staff is here, but I do want to show off all the way over here to the right of Ruxton is a portal back to the Tower of Time. You might notice I hesitate for a moment here. That's not because I'm explaining, that's because I'm cursing at myself for forgetting that's a thing. I spent about 15 minutes from Bamboo Creek moving forward through the levels, through the Howling Grotto, into the Searing Crag, and up to here, because I'm an idiot. Hey, you're Ruxton's staff! Well, you took your sweet time, didn't you? 500 years. Do you have any idea how cold it is up here? Well, I'll leave you here. The messenger will need you in the future, he said. 15 minutes in, I was already cold and bored. Had I known it would take you centuries to show up, I actually am kind of helpless. How are you supposed to help me? I'm not interested in wielding a necromancer weapon. I don't know, Ruxton got obsessed with the Blue Robe's history. Said something about how a tower you used to get to the clouds wouldn't be here anymore. So my epic contribution after waiting for centuries in the cold is apparently simply to beam you up and down as you please. To the cloud ruins? Yeah, that's sure to come in handy. Can we go now? Really think I'd be sitting here if I could teleport? Only you can activate my magic. For that, you need Ruxton's amulet. I'm sensing Ruxton's power. You must be holding the amulet. Do you want to teleport to the cloud ruins? I'd love to get out of this cold. Sure. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 16, we're heading back to the cloud ruins. See you guys then.